Hi everyone, welcome to rom.com Film Reviews, where we're dedicated to authentic and in-depth film reviews on romantic comedies. I will be posting one film review per week, and it will be according to the watch guide that I post on my blog. The link to the blog is down below, and it's also on my channel page. Feel free to leave comments, questions, or even your own opinion on the romantic comedy of the week. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, with that, let's get started. So the film that I will be reviewing today is called 2 Weeks Notice. It's directed by Marc and it stars Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant. To explain a little bit about them, they're big into rom-coms. Personally, I think that they were perfect for this movie, and just romantic comedies in general. Sandra Bullock is just absolutely hilarious with her acting, and Hugh Grant is just, he's one to like, he has that swoon factor. So if you end up liking them, I would suggest checking out some of their other films. For Sandra Bullock, that'd be The Proposal, and then for Hugh Grant, that would be films like Love Actually and what's the other one? Oh, Notting Hill. So yeah. All right. So the whole movie opens up with the opening credit scenes, where it's you know when they do the pictures of like how they grow up, so they do that kind of for Hugh Grant's character George Wade and Sandra Bullock's character Lucy, and basically it's like George is growing up like wealthy, and so he has that like dress and like basically like the different places that he is, it's like, you know, having that freelance type life. And then for Lucy, it's like she's kind of grown up in like this like not rugged, but like, you know, she's just like having fun, like being a kid. Like, so there's this one scene where it's like a picture of her when she's young holding a watermelon by the pool. I just thought that was hilarious. So it's like stuff like that. Anyways, so after the opening credits, we start with Lucy's character, and she's at this construction site, and she's like, I won't tell you how, like what she's doing, but the way that she's like acting and like the way she goes about protesting is so unusual, but it's like, it's so funny, but I'll leave that for you guys. So yeah, so we kind of find out more about Lucy. She's kind of lonely. Her best friend is, you know, dating someone, and so there's this one scene where like he asks her to marry her, and Lucy's just kind of like there. She's just like there as this is happening. She's like, so yeah. But anyways, so after that, when like we find out more about her, you know, when she kind of lives with her parents, but like she is just doing her own thing. After we spend a little time getting to know her, we move on to Hugh Grant's character George, and the first time we see him, it's like at this benefit that he's speaking at, and let's just say he knows how to work a crowd. Like, he does all the pleasantries with everyone. He's kind of like unsure. There's like one scene where he's like talking about like pediatrics, and then like talks about feet, and the face he makes when he's like, wait, was that what I was supposed to talk about, or like, is that the right thing? Anyways, so it's like stuff like that. And then so we kind of find out more about him. Like, he works at this big like construction company, and you know, he's kind of like the face of the company, while his brother's kind of like the more like the businessman. And so we also find out that like George needs a new lawyer, and funny enough, we had also found out earlier that Lucy is a lawyer, so you can start to see some sort of connection. And so we get a sense of both of their characters at the beginning so that we're not lost, like trying to figure out who's who and like what their personality is. So as the film continues, I'm just gonna talk about the romantic side of it, and then I'm gonna go into the comedy side of it just to like kind of play with that theme. So to start, I would say that this film is like a enemies to like interested in each other, and then like flirting, and then they fall in love, and then something bad happens, like one does something to hurt the other, and then they like separate, and then like it's a happy ending. But I'm not gonna tell you like what it is, but like, so it starts with what George is doing is like with this company, it's like directly affecting Lucy and like the building that she loves, and so she's like kind of there, like she's kind of there at the front of his company, like, and this happens to be just as like he's like looking for someone to hire, and she is like trying to get him to like, or trying to talk to him about it, and like he's like asking her all these interview questions in front of the building, like trying to interview her, and she's like, but like, and she's like still trying to like get him to look at this thing, and they create a deal that like if she works for him, he'll protect the community center. So it's like they kind of work together, but he becomes kind of really dependent on her, and it's to a point where she gets kind of really tired with it. She's just like, so I have to put in my 2 weeks notice, like I'm done. And that's kind of it kind of is what starts like their more so less professional and more personal relationship. And so we kind of see them start to get closer, and like she opens up to him, and he's like helping her more, and like instead of her always doing everything for him, it's like he's cheering her up. So it's like they start to get each other more, like they start to work more together than like her working for him kind of thing. So it's like you kind of start to see how they're like starting to fall more and more for each other, more so Lucy, and she's so sweet, and she has a couple scenes where she just opens up, and you don't get that side we see at the beginning, but it's more like she just is there to care. Like she's very compassionate, and I think that's the biggest thing that to come out about her is like, yes, she's independent and she's very hard, like core, like she's very straight-faced, but she just cares, and that's why she's doing all this stuff, like defending the community center. At the beginning, she's doing that protest, even though maybe not the most like traditional way to go about it, but the way that she does it, she's just there to be like, she cares. So yeah, so then we start to like see them fall more for each other, and then obviously you're gonna have a point where there's like a female competition, like another girl, and that comes in, and it's like almost like Lucy kind of backs off, and then but she also is like trying to get closer to George, so it's like that kind of back and forth, and you're just like, what's gonna happen? And then I'm not gonna tell you the ending, but George hurts her in different ways, and like it kind of like she starts to back off, and then so she leaves the firm finally when they find a replacement for her, and they go their separate ways. And then the end is just, it gives me butterflies every single time I watch it, and I've watched this movie so many times, and how they like how things are resolved, and So yeah, so that's the romantic side of it. To talk about the comedy side, Sandra Bullock is probably one of the most hilarious actresses that I ever watched. And it's not about like what she does, but it's just like how she acts, and like it's like she's trying to be, there's like a couple scenes where she's trying to be flirty, and like it looks so like awkward, but it looks like she's like, you know, trying, and like and then there's other scenes where she's like, the conflict with one another, like there's like conflict with others, she's just like trying to go about her thing, and then these people are like yelling at her, and she's like I'm sorry, like and then she's like, why is everyone out to get me? And for example, there's a scene where she's walking by and she drops a quarter into a guy's cup of coffee, thinking it's like someone asking for money, and he goes, hey lady, why did you, that's like, you just ruined my perfectly good cup of coffee, that was my only one for the day. And she's like, I'm sorry, I don't need it. But anyway, so it's like, Sandra Bullock's acting is so incredibly amazing, and how she goes about acting, where like she knows how to like say things and like almost like act it out, that it's just it's comedic in itself. And Hugh Grant has a couple of moments too. So Hugh Grant, his comedy is a little bit different, but it's like basically the same style, and I think that's why they work so well together, him and Sandra, because they almost play off each other, kind of like if they were like almost like they're like little kids fighting. But he's more, I would say his type of comedy is like more childish, because it's kind of his character. George is a very like, he didn't have to grow up, so basically doesn't take many things seriously. So there's one scene where him and Sandra, or him and Lucy go mattress shopping, because like he doesn't realize like boundaries, but like professional boundaries, and how she's not his assistant, but he takes her anyways. So they go to the mattress store, and they're just like sitting on the one of the mattresses. So Lucy's just kind of laying there and like, what am I doing here? Like, and then he's like testing it out. He's like bouncing on it. He's like, so it's just like his playful character like is there's something comedic about it. So yeah. What else? Oh, there's this funny tennis scene. I don't want to go too much into it, but it's just like the way she's like trying to be competitive, like playing tennis against like George and like the other woman that she's jealous of. She's like, they're like hitting it back and forth, and it's one of those scenes where like the other opponents are just standing there like, what's going on? And like they're just like hitting it back and forth. And the like how she's like trying to like hit it is like it's hilarious. I mean, you know, like when like someone's just like trying to act all like, you know, competitive and athletic, and they're just like, literally it just looks like it looks so silly. It's kind of like that. So yeah, so those are kind of like the biggest scenes, I would say, that hit home. There's another scene to speak about really quickly. It's probably one of my favorite scenes. It's when they're across the lake, there's like a river, and there's like two patios, and they're across the way from each other, and the way that George looks at her when she's in this like very beautiful dress, that look. And if you know anything about romantic comedies, you know that look is like, it's why you watch the movie. Like you wanna experience that part as the spectator. And I think that this movie does such a great job of like putting you in that moment, to the point where you almost swoon. And then on top of that, like the way that he's speechless when he tries to talk to her is, one of those other components of romantic comedies that people love so much. I mean, I personally love to watch romantic comedies for that reason. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say at the moment. If you have any questions, again, leave them down below. I'll try to get to as much as I can. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Again, please visit my blog to find out where to watch this movie and also other movies. You can find that down below, the link down below, or you can find it on my channel. Yeah, and then if you really enjoyed Marc Lawrence's works, I suggest checking out some of his other films, such as Music and Lyrics, Miss Congeniality, and Did You Hear About the Morgans? Funny enough, they also star Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock, so more films if you really love them too. But yeah, so go watch the movie and always have a great day. Bye guys.